Any information that you may be looking for, I will have listed in the description box, so just check there. And if you do want to book a personal session with me, that information will be listed in the description. All right, let's see what's going on. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is the general energy around my Scorpios? Okay, so right off the bat, it's going into this energy of you moving forward from focusing on what should have happened, what could have happened if you did X, Y, and Z, and if this circumstance was different, and if this turned out this way. And it's realizing that things happen the way that they're supposed to, especially with the Three of Swords and the Chariot. It's like, and I always say this, the Three of Swords, the only thing that makes the Three of Swords is the mental focus of how we expected things to turn out. And when our expectations aren't necessarily met, it can leave us in a space of, feeling bad or feeling hurt a little bit. But I think that you're transcending past this and recognizing that the choice is pretty much yours in terms of what happens next. Some of you may have even had a moment where you've been reflective or just sitting back and thinking about like, dang, so X, Y, and Z has happened up until this point. And yeah, it's good to reflect, to understand where you came from, to know where you're going. But now you're closing that chapter. That chapter is done for sure. Another thing that I'm seeing, there's a huge focus on co-parenting with the person that you may have children with. If that dynamic hasn't been the most positive, you could be trying your best for like a different approach in terms of you guys just focusing on moving forward and getting to a place of balance within that relationship so that you guys can both, or all of you could be on the best of terms so that you guys can have a balanced family relationship. Some of you may have even started to date someone new outside of a family situation, and the transition is a little bit difficult too. Like you're having to adjust to the fact that now the person you've been with for so long is now out of your life. Now you're dating someone new, and all of it could just be an interesting process within itself. But the advice for you, let's go into that. Also, when it comes to career, it's also talking about you looking at what your options are when it comes to getting to a place of success. Maybe you haven't reached all your personal goals by the age you wanted to or by the time you wanted to. But the focus for this week is how can I transcend from the lessons that I've learned in terms of what hasn't worked out, what can I do a little bit differently? And that's going to be, like I said, the focus. Now the advice, I have the Wheel of Fortune, I have the Nine of Cups, I have the Hermit, and we also have the Queen of Swords. So the advice is to welcome change. The change that you're looking to receive is here, okay? Especially with the Nine of Cups being right after it, I had to smile because you're in the midst of you're in that weird gray area. The best way I could describe it for you Scorpios, you're in that weird gray area of not necessarily knowing what's going to happen next, and in that just unknown space where you're undefined, where you don't know if you're, becoming a doctor, musician, in your career, or in love. You don't know if you're single, dating somebody, you're gonna fix things. So you're in that weird gray area where things are a little bit undefined. The advice is to roll with it. Roll with it. Right now, you don't need to have all the answers in terms of how your whole life is supposed to be or what set of actions you're supposed to take next. If anything, you're supposed to be present in this current moment and just taking stock of what's happening around you and taking all the wisdom that you've previously gained and applying it. Okay, notice I said wisdom, not trauma, but wisdom, understanding that you've gained. So the advice is for this week, sit in the present moment, focus on the things that make you happy or that you can say, you know what, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for the fact that I still have money to pay bills. I'm grateful that I'm able to still breathe and that tomorrow I have another day. Focus on a level of gratitude, focus on being in the present, and all the magic is flowing to you naturally from there. Okay. Also, this is taking time out to cut out distractions as well with the Queen of Swords. Any distractions that are keeping you from staying focused, from staying grounded, needs to go. Now, what do you need to be aware of that you're not aware of coming into this week? I have the Ace of Pentacles, I have the Devil, I have the Crown of Cups, and I also have the Strength card. So in terms of what you're unaware of, Scorpios, again, I'm seeing new opportunity, but you guys may have been so blocked by maybe the things that have been quote unquote negative or that have not been the best experiences or like the best energy. Those things have been distracting you from the fact that you actually have new opportunities right up under you. Like for some of you, you've been craving to start a new business, and this has been something that's been in the back of your head, but the distraction has been maybe your emotions or other people or like other things. And the devil does that. The devil does that very thing, which is try to distract you. So what you're unaware of is there are definitely unforeseen forces that want to stop you from reaching your full potential, and you need to try your best to stay away from those distractions or those things that try to take you away from your progress. Okay, when the negative thoughts start to creep up, I always tell you guys to identify them as goblins or identify them as like separate monsters that are not a part of you and not a part of your being. Okay, it's not you that's telling you that you can't do certain things, because if it was you, you would be thinking from a place of being limitless. So what you're unaware of is there's definitely unforeseen forces that are like energetically trying to hold you back. And you need to fight with all your power, fight with all your level of determination to keep going. Now, what to avoid over the next week or so, I have the Queen of Cups, I have the Page of Swords, I have the Four of Wands, and I also have the Ace of Swords. So, what to avoid? Overly being critical of yourself, not being compassionate to yourself in the sense, like I always say this, you need to be as nice or compassionate as you would be to yourself, or you need to be as compassionate to yourself as you would be to a friend. If you wouldn't tell your friend, oh, you're a stupid behind B for whatever, I'm just, I'm using the example because sometimes we could cuss ourselves out like that. If you wouldn't talk to yourself if you wouldn't talk to your friend like that, and you would offer them words of wisdom, you would offer them guidance that you wish that you always got, why can't you give that same respect to yourself? And that's like the biggest thing you want to be mindful of during this time frame, is being hypercritical in a way where you're tearing into yourself. Okay. Or like also questioning your plans, over analyzing things. Okay, talking yourself out of things that you know you should do. You want to avoid anything like that. Or anybody who's just blatantly suspicious or lacks the ability to communicate, you need to avoid them as well. How can you really get to a place of understanding or get to a place of clear communication with someone if they're not even willing to meet you halfway in that? It takes two people to have a conversation. It takes two people to have understanding. So anybody who's like choosing misunderstanding on purpose and choosing to keep you in the blinds or not having understanding, that's somebody to avoid. I have coins, which represents good luck. We have crystals, which represents achievement. I love this card. I have traffic cone, which represents caution. I have angel numbers, which represents confirmation. And one more, we have skull, which represents endings. Okay, so final messages. Like I said, you guys have the forces working with you. You have your spiritual team working with you. This goes right back into what I was saying earlier with the traffic cone, caution card coming up here. Be aware when you're climbing heights of getting to a place of being successful or transcending just spaces in your life or cycles in your life where you've learned a lesson and you're ready for the next phase, you're ready for the next level up. There are going to be new devils on new levels. So you need to be mindful of what are those things that could be subconsciously trying to talk you out of your progression. And is that of God? Is it of you to allow these things to pull you away from your full potential? And any second you find yourself going into the space of resistance, away from the things that you know to be beneficial to you, rebuke it, rebuke it, okay? Thank you so much. I hope that this was helpful. I do wish you the best of luck, and I will talk to you in the next one. I hope that this was helpful to anybody who needed to hear it, and I will talk to you tomorrow or whenever the next reading is. Bye, guys.